In Turning Point 3, Man God makes an appearance after Rudy receives a disturbing letter that disrupts the upward trajectory that his life has enjoyed as of late. So, getting to the first topic. As shown for the last couple episodes, Rudy has routine, and for the most part, his life is simple. Yes, the inclusion of Norn and Aisha have kind of complicated things, but once they settled, things became basically the way they were before, just with additions to Rudy's routine of working out, going to school, checking in with friends, spending time with Sophie, and etc. And of course, it's not just him, but pretty much everybody has a routine that, is pretty much on an upward trajectory. Cliff has come up with something for Ellen Elise that honestly kind of looks like a chastity belt. Zenova is learning how to finally make figurines without breaking them. Julie's better than ever, especially now that one of Zenova's old assistants is dead and starting to be kind of like a maternal figure. Nanahashi starting to really make progress to the point where she realizes that sooner or later she has to contact Orsted, aka the Dragon God, in order to really get to the point of teleportation, perhaps in a way that can take her home, and to really show you how good things are, Sophie reveals that she's pregnant. And yes, she did present the idea that feels like foreshadowing that she could have issues with not conceiving but having a child. But right now, let's stay on a positive note and just see that things are going in a way that Rudy loves for not just himself but also the community he built up. Getting to the second topic. Unfortunately for Rudy, the good times don't last, for with receiving a letter from Geese that things aren't going so well in terms of rescuing Zenith, Rudy is now put in this weird position of not knowing if he should go or if he should stay, and thus into Man God. Man God pushes the idea that why would you want to leave? Things are going so well. You're about to have a kid. Why not just have an affair? Sleep with Linnea, Placenta, have a child during the next mating season, and just enjoy your life. And while Rudy's not for that idea, he does listen to Man God in terms of thinking about the possibility of missing his first child being born, the distance it would take in order to get to where Geese assumably is, since it would take about a year to get there, and who knows what could happen in a year. The whole situation could be resolved. He could possibly miss Geese or Paul on the way there. And at this point, Rudy's like, things are going so well right now, why mess it up? But getting to the third topic, as he tries to make this decision, Norn and Aisha, they're very much aware of what's going on. And while Aisha, like everybody else, is appreciating how stable things are, including her gaining an allowance so she can start buying things for herself, Norn is of the mindset that something is wrong. Why is this person who's been so hyped to be so strong, so wonderful, not doing something? And you can see that kind of opens up the old wound that Norn had with her older brother. And with this in mind, he starts to strongly consider going out and trying to help Geese, Paul, and eventually find and rescue Zenith. But before he does that, he tries to consult his community to see what they think. Sophie is supporting of it because she has the same community that Rudy has. Ellen Elise is willing to actually go in Rudy's place and break up with Cliff so that she can help them handle the situation. Zenova, he supports Rudy, but at the same time, he knows that he can't go on an adventure because he's not as well traveled or just slow Rudy down. So, in the end, it seems Rudy for sure is gonna go, but whether or not he's gonna have any company on the way there is a bit harder to say, since when it comes to Sophie having their first kid, it seems he would rather Ellen Elise stay with Sophie, bond with her and their future kid, rather than join him. So this might be Rudy's first real adventure in quite some time. So when it comes to the review section, first highlight is that we're finally going on an adventure again, and what makes this adventure especially interesting is that one, Vanguard advised against it, so that means probably a lot of bad things might happen. And granted, we decided to spoil ourselves so we know the truth about Man God, but there's no denying that the world outside of Ano University has continued going on, and while Rudy has gotten stronger and things have gone quite well for him, that doesn't mean the rest of the world is the same. Last that we checked, Asura Kingdom is still dealing with a bit of an upheaval. The Grey Rats, while they have still some type of name recognition, I haven't forgotten the fact that one of the major leaders in the family got executed. So hopefully, with all that Rudy has been separated from for all this time, we're gonna finally start catching up with what's happening in the outside world and get some kind of world building, since I feel like we have more than enough character development at this point. Now it's time for all these places that have been name dropped for the last couple episodes to come to life. And not only that, I know there's not the strongest chance that we'll see Eris or Zenith by the end of this season, but now there's at least a chance, because they clearly wasn't going to come to Rudy, so he has to go out in the world and potentially find them. And add in that there still seems to be some work that needs to be done between Paul and Rudy in terms of their relationship, and even though we're very focused on having some world building episodes, eventually this season can give us some character development, some emotional moments, and really end on a high note in a way that not a lot of shows get to for 2 seasons. The next highlight and the last topic for this review is Sophie being pregnant and all that means for this show. And granted, generally speaking, I don't think we've had too many episodes that are void of having Rudy involved, but it's an interesting idea of watching Sophie deal with being pregnant, deal with being not necessarily alone, but have it where her husband's gone. She's reliant on her distant grandmother, her sisters-in-law, and this community that Rudy built up that, yes, she has access to, but I feel like she always had a degree of separation from. And to see them really stick up for her, help her during these situations, potentially help her raise her kid, it's going to be something that, if the show decides to pursue this avenue, could be interesting. I'm not saying it's something that should be focused on for multiple episodes, but at the very least, it is something that could really allow us to see that Sophie, despite how much she has been absorbed into Rudy's world, still is a notable individual. I mean, lest we forget, she didn't become Fitz and gain a reputation just by being Ariel's bodyguard, but because of her presence, because of her abilities to do incantationless magic and things like that. But overall, with a promise of a new adventure and all that could bring, while we do worry what that could mean for keeping up with Sophie and the others, who can resist Rudy using the full extent of his powers once again, in this show getting to bring the various places that we hear about to life?